Now here's a question I get often, and it is, Mike, how do you know when to put rebar or wire into concrete? Because sometimes I see you putting rebar or wire into sidewalks or concrete. Why and when and where do you use it? So it's a good question. So to answer this, we got to go back in time. When you seen my videos on the pyramids of Egypt or the Great Wall or Monte Picchu or the castles in Europe, there was no rebar. Everything was stone and cement, cement and stone. And then before World War II, basically they came out with concrete and they started adding rebar to it. Now, to build modern buildings and skyscrapers, when the Industrial Revolution came around, they started using steel. And today, basically, I say they're still experimenting with it because, as you know, and I know, that rebar eventually rusts and it expands and it breaks the concrete apart. Now, if you basically have to go on a job and it says on the plans to put rebar in, you got to put it in. Let's look at a book that I used when I went to college and see what it says. Now this is the architectural drafting and design book that I used when I went to college for drafting courses. And right down in here you can see where they're showing the rebar, and it says right in here 1/2 inch diameter reinforcing rods. We go over in here and they want to show you the right and wrong way they say to put it in. We're going to go through a real set of plans over here that people dropped by some time ago, and it's showing the rebar in these footers, and it's saying down here number 5 reinforcing. So number 5 would be a 5/8, or if you go to metrics, it's a 16 millimeter. See, it's number 5. They just don't say. They got to keep changing things all the time. So we're looking at this rebar, and if you can see it right, this is a 5/8 inch piece of rebar. Because the plans say I have to put 2 or 3 in this part of the footer and 2 in this footer, I have to put them in. There's no way around that. While I'm looking at these plans, I want to make a point. Let's just say I didn't understand what this guy was really meaning down here. He might have had a different intention. So usually the architect will show up on a job, or I could call him, and then we would go over the whole set of plans, and he'd answer all my questions, and I'd write them down while he's talking exactly the way he wants it. I did a video called Industrial Concrete Work, Rebar Forming and Testing, and I filmed them putting in these big tanks when they are all tying the rebar together, and I show how it was done. But the truth about rebar is it rots away. These are 2 examples I always show. I took this out of a footer that was poured in 1972. It's rotted. And this one, you can see where it expanded. And when it expands, it breaks the concrete apart. That's why I could show you this, is because what happens is it sits in the concrete soaks in the water, and it breaks the concrete apart. It's only a matter of time. So if you don't believe me, let's look at some bridges that are in Pennsylvania. We're looking at a bridge in Pennsylvania, and this is what happens when you put concrete and rebar together. It's only a matter of time where it starts falling apart. We come down at the bottom of the bridge, take a look at that. And we're looking at the bridges, and we're going to come down here. This is the bottom of the bridge. Look at the metal, look at the concrete. How the metal knocks it all apart. Right here you can see all the rust coming and how it cracks it. You see a big crack in there? That's from the metal inside concrete. Well, they're fixing these bridges, and we're going to go over here and take a look. And you can see this rebar. This rebar starts rotting, see it? And then it starts breaking away the concrete. So they're hammering it all out, and they're going to refix it again. You can see where the rebar rotted out, and they're fixing it. They cut this all out. I think I made my point about how rebar rusts and it expands and it breaks the concrete apart. We're not only talking about rebar, we're talking about all kind of metals. Let's look at some iron railing and some other types of metals that breaks the concrete apart. Here's a little porch I gotta fix. What I want to show you is metal, how it all rots away. Here's a good example of it. We go over here, the metal's expanding, and the porch is starting to fall apart. Another example, and another example. Another example of the rebar and how the concrete falls away from it. Standing in front of a building where the whole facade of the brick actually fell off. It was in the newspaper in the morning. The reason it fell off is they used wall ties. Now this was about 15 years old they took out of a brick wall. This is a brand new one. So let's look at it. See, here's one of these wall ties. See how they rot away and they fall off. It's only a matter of time. I'm going to do a little speech here on rebar. You see the rebar? It's rotted. What happens is they put rebar in these sidewalks and everything. The water gets them and it rots it and expands. And after it's good for 25, 35, maybe 40 years. After that it starts breaking all the masonry apart. You're going to ask me how come the rebar comes out without any cement on it. That's because when it gets wet it expands and it cracks the concrete apart. That's why it's always easy to get the rebar out. Now here's the lesson to you. All you architects and engineers, see this? You know what this is? An angle iron. It used to be made out of metal. See it? It's all falling apart. Oh, you gotta use metal, you gotta use rebar. Yeah? Well, that's what happens when you do. That's why the old timers built with arches. I did a video, it's called Wall Ties, Anchors, and Brick Bonding. And in that I showed you the different ways to hold your brick together or put it together. But when I'm doing a block job, I usually use this stuff. It's called Duralwall. And it will rust in time, but it doesn't rust bad enough to break the block apart or break the cement apart. And I seen this stuff hold a whole foundation together like a boat when the underneath of the foundation was washed away. So I'm a big advocate of this. There are times you got to put it in. But a big mistake I see is usually when it requires rods like every 4 feet in block work to go all the way up onto where your anchor bolts are. They got this big idea to use something heavier. Now, when you use something heavier, it rusts more and it's going to break apart more. And I see people even use pipes. I'm talking about in wet environments. If it's in Arizona, it might not be as bad, but sooner or later it's going to happen. So they don't really design buildings in the United States to last more than 35 years unless it's a skyscraper. They're building everything more anymore out of steel and glass. Brickwork and blockwork is disappearing. Now let me go a little further here. Just say you're building a pier and you're going to put a lamp post in it, or you're going to put a piece of iron in it. Maybe you're going to build it out of stone. Maybe you're going to build it out of brick. And then what I see is, what might be a common mistake, is they fill this with concrete. And then what happens is the concrete shrinks, or this expands and it breaks it up and you'll get cracks coming down here. What I do all the time is I put a piece of styrofoam, I wrap it around it, and I put it in, and when I pour the concrete, this gives this a little space to move in. Same thing when you're doing, same thing when I'm doing it out of wood. A lot of people will take the wood and they'll put the wood in, they'll pour the concrete, the wood gets wet, expands, and it breaks it up. So what I always do is, if I'm going to do that, the same thing, I put this down in here to where the concrete is. It might have a little space to it, but it works. Now this I use is this seal it's called. And you just wrap it around like this, and I put a piece of tape around it, and this little bit of insulation will give it expansion quality so it won't crack concrete. Now this is the type of wire that usually goes into concrete when you're pouring garage floors or you're pouring sidewalks out in the front of a building. Something commercial, not too much in back of a house, but it's thin. You see, it's thin and it rusts away like rebar, but it's not so big that it expands and cracks the concrete apart. If I'm going to use wire, I like to pour the concrete a little thicker and put this more towards the bottom. Otherwise, you'll see it in years bleeding through the top. People say, well, you use this to keep concrete from cracking, but the truth is, it doesn't really keep it from cracking. What it does is when it does crack, it holds it all together better. So if you're going to want to keep it from cracking, you kind of have to let concrete float by itself where it's not pinned anywhere. I explain that in all my videos where I'm pouring concrete. But this is the wire I use. Sometimes I use it, sometimes I don't. If they require it, of course, but it all depends on what you're doing. Now I have this pile of old metal here. Some of it is rebar, some of it is angle irons, some of it is poles, and it all came out of concrete or brickwork or block work. And if you looked at it close, it's all rots apart. Now I was down in the Virgin Islands and they did the old sugar canes. I have a video called out Stonework of the Virgin Islands, and they did everything with arches, so there was never any rot. They put wood in first, and then they put the arch on top. And it was an easy fix. If you had to rechange the wood, you just changed the wood, filled it in a little bit, and you still had the arch protecting it. But that's not what they do anymore. Now, one of the key words is with rebar is wet. If it's in a real wet environment, it's going to rot. It's only a matter of time. And in our area, it's usually between 30 to 35 years when it really causes the damage. Now that bridge I'm showing you, they're back fixing it again, and they did it 30 years ago because it was built in the early 50s, and they're going to be back in another 30, 35 years doing the same thing because it's rebar. I did a video, I went to the World of Concrete, and I met up with another YouTuber there, you know him well, good guy, and we walked around and they got all these new types. They got rebar where they coat it with plastic, or they're using fiberglass rebar now, and I don't know if it's working or it's not working. So let's just take a look at that. This is all fiberglass, right?
Yeah, absolutely. So it won't corrode.
It won't corrode.
Where you've got...
Do you bend these in the field or pre-made?
So obviously you can cut the straights, but then...
This fiberglass mesh is 3 times stronger than steel mesh, 4 times lighter.
Oh yeah.
Wow.
Steel mesh.
Yeah.
Hot flat?
Price is similar, but what's good about this? It doesn't rust. It doesn't conduct temperature and electricity, so great for the swimming pools.
They also make fibers. I get this from the concrete company, and they're fibers, and you put them into the concrete, and I think it works well. I also use it for stucco. But you're going to learn more about building when you're tearing an old building down than you're building a new building. Because when you're tearing an old building down, then right away you get to see what worked and what didn't work. I say around here, concrete lasts 30 years. If we put a brand new driveway in with our weather, 25 years later, it's ready for replacement. And I'll tell you, I've seen people put in driveways 2, 3 times during my lifetime. So it goes along with, sometimes I use the metal. You'll see me put metal in sidewalks to separate it. A keyway they call it. 25, 35 years later, yeah, that starts rusting away. But that's the life of the concrete. Now I did a video called Sidewalks, Old School versus New School. And when I was in music, I played on the Great Wall of China, and I played up in Scandinavia. And I was at the Great Wall, and we were on our way up there, and they had this whole city block. They're ready to put the pavers down in the whole city block. And I said, great, when I get back tomorrow, I'll get up early. Next day I got up early, I ran down the street, the whole city block was done. If that was America, they'd have concrete trucks, they'd have inspectors, they'd have backhoes, jackhammers. It'd take them 2 months to do it. They don't do things simple in America. And in that video, I also showed you what they do in Scandinavia. If a piece of the sidewalk is bad, it comes in little sections, 2 of them pick it up, put one back down from the barrel truck, and it's over with. They don't do that. Everything's simple. United States, they don't do that. Now these are the sidewalks they use in Denmark, right here. They use these to put these down. I just want to show you. If they have a leaky pipe or something's wrong, They just pick it up, dig the hole, put it down, and they're done. I was walking up yesterday. Remember they dug this hole out? And look at, they just put everything right back in. They're done. All over with. So now we want to get to the heart of the matter. And I got to answer the question. When do you put the rebar in and when don't you put it in? Well, sometimes, like I said, when I showed you the plans, you have to put it in. Sometimes I'll have to pin something to a wall, the back of a porch, so that if it ever settles, it's not going to cave in. Little things like that I do, but sometimes you have to decide whether you want to or not. Now, if it's in the front of a sidewalk, in front of a house where the burro truck's going to be driving on it, the garbage truck, or the power truck's going to be going in, if I don't put the rebar in and they drive over the top of it and it cracks, they're going to blame me saying you didn't put the rebar in. Now, I did a curb and I had to fix the top of a curb and I put a piece of rebar going through the curb. Why did I do that? Because what's going to happen is the plow truck's going to come in the winter and hit it like it did before. If I don't have that rebar to hold it for there, it's going to break in pieces and they're going to call me up and saying you didn't put rebar in. So if it looks like a situation where it has to go in, I put it in because I know around here concrete's only going to last 25, 30 years anyway. So it all boils down to this. It's all a common sense thing. Sometimes I have to pin some block into another block. Sometimes I have to pin it into a wall. Sometimes I have to put rebar in, or in the sidewalks I got to put wire. It's all common sense. If I think I really need it, I put it in. It's the lesser of two evils when you're in doubt. But if I don't have to put it in, I don't. If you see all these castles, like I said, over in Europe, there's no rebar. They're there for hundreds and hundreds of years. So take your choice as you go. Thanks for watching. I'm Mike Haduck. Until next video.